So it is my pleasure to introduce to you our Literacy Minnesota's new leader, Anton Jones.
Wow. What a blessing. What a blessing it is to share this moment with you all. As you heard, my name is Anton Jones. I am a tall black man, bald. Thank you, alopecia. And wearing a purple jacket, and behind this podium, some pretty cool purple shoes. And I'm so happy to be here. Please give another round of applause to Malcolm. In my short time this morning, I drove around with him, and he actually managed to momentarily make me question my loyalty to the purple and gold. Momentarily. I want to give a big shout out to Susan, Heather, Jill, and Javier, who have been behind the scenes working tirelessly to bring this event to life. This is a big lift. This is our first live event since 2019. A huge shout out to our teachers, our volunteers, our learners, our staff, our Vista leaders. A huge shout out. And they've all welcomed me here with such open arms. A complete stranger, 5 months here. And I want to give a huge shout out to you all. You are here. The amount of passion and love for our mission is beyond contagious. That said, as a latecomer to the Literacy Minnesota movement, this contagion can be overwhelming. And quite honestly, that is how I'm feeling. You know, the sheer magnitude of our mission to share the power of literacy, of learning through education, community building, and advocacy, and the legacy that this organization has led leads me to wonder, what business do I have standing up here in front of you all? These shoes are too big for me. But then I look out here and realize, yes, these shoes are too big for me, but it's not about me. This is about we. We, all of us in this room, collectively fill those shoes. And we are here today, every one of us, because we've been invited here to celebrate the past, present, and future of Literacy Minnesota. And you all answered the invitation. Did anybody not get an invitation tonight? You're just here? If so, tell me how you found out, because we need to hire your marketing person. In the next bit of time, I'm going to extend the next invitation. An invitation to imagine. If you all will accept this invitation, let me hear you all say yes. Now, I'm going to ask this again because this is a big ask, because I'm not going to ask you to imagine practically. I'm going to ask you to imagine radically. If you want some inspiration, look at all the little ones in this room. They do it naturally. Just take a moment to look at all the kids. Think back to the time when you were so young, you didn't understand the concept of impossibility. Hadn't been taught to you yet. That's the kind of imagining I'm inviting you to make today and to our future. So if you're willing to give that a try, once again, let me hear you say yes. All right. So, as an educator, I understand the concept of scaffolding. So we're going to work our way up to this deep imagination. And our first step is simply showing an example. We're going to show you a video of Chua Lore. Chua is a student in our Arlington Hills Open Door Learning Center. She started in our beginning reading class. Now she's a business owner, owns Hmong House. I hope you bid high on one of the items to have her cater an event for you. The following video will show a small taste of what can happen when you imagine radically.
Even though I live for a half year, so I still want to come back here. because I love to study here. I love my teacher. I love all the volunteers. They are nice and kind. We teach each other and we understand each other, we help each other. When I come class a lot, so I change my mind that I want to become a businesswoman. I think business, we don't need to study a lot, but depend how smart you are. One day I talked to my sister about how to become a business, because my sister, she a businesswoman, and my brother-in-law also a businessman too. And I talked to them, and that's why we decided to open our restaurant. When I see people eat my food and they're happy, and they tell me, oh, the food is so good, so that the product that is making me happy, and I want to work there. I never thought that I would be here when I'm in Laos. The beginning, my parents, they haven't known that here that we have a choice for our life. I took a bus California to here by myself for 3 days, and I fly without no one help me, and I don't know how to speak English that time too. And right now I speak English well, not other words that I can understand, but I can do whatever I want. Even I want to take the bus, I want to take like Uber or call taxi or wherever I want to go, I can go by myself without no one take care of me. I can take care of myself better than in the past. It's not hard for me anymore in the future. I think just like something you need to learn, something new you need to learn. If you don't give up, then never have something to stop you. But if you give up, and then that means you stop yourself.
If you don't give up, you will never have something to stop you. But if you give up, you stop yourself. Chua is one example of the power of radical imagination. Many might have said that the practical or traditional path of being a business owner would be to get those literacy skills, then get a GED, perhaps go to college or business school, and then open that restaurant. Chu was like, skip that. Took those classes, decided, I'm ready right now. Started that business, runs that business, and this morning, I am now was in the morning center, and she's taking the GED class after the fact. Education is not always sequential. There's not one sequence of events. And we have to create spaces where individuals can radically imagine their reality, their truth, their learning path, their mechanisms for learning, and what their measure for success is. And Literacy Minnesota has done this for 50 years. 50 years. Yeah, that's huge. Think about that. Imagine 50 years ago, a church basement in Roseville, a handful of people are sitting there thinking, literacy for all. Now let's remember, we are 18 years into Vietnam and 3 years from this war ending. We are in the middle, we're at the beginning of the Watergate scandal. We are 4 years after MLK was assassinated. This is a lot happening right in this moment. The practical thinking would be the basics. That'd be aspirational in itself. And still, a small group of folks were like, literacy for all. And they spread a whole movement of spreading this to other people, teaching from a small church basement till they outgrew it. And now it was a statewide thing. And before we knew it, we were delivering tutor training, teacher training, classes all over the state, all volunteers, unpaid. Thank goodness that we are paying teachers, because teachers now can work side by side with volunteers. And volunteers can work side by side with teachers, and we can reach a substantial amount of people. And Literacy Minnesota set that stage. Now, times aren't so different now, 50 years later. We're not in Vietnam anymore, but we've had some military conflicts, not only here but nationally. We are, right now, 3 years removed from a global pandemic that shut our world down, where we had to immediately imagine, not radically, but practically, on how we can learn, school, parent, socially interact overnight. And then 2 months into that, right in our backyard, our city is on fire due to the senseless murder of George Floyd. And we are still having to think radically and practically just to get by and to eat. We were a food desert. And then 9 months later, not even a year, another tragic death right in our city. Now, Literacy Minnesota, we lost one of our sites. Got one burned down in that fire in Lake Street. We kept going. We did online classes. We did whatever we can. And a year before the pandemic, even a book club sprouted out. A book club that was, once again, radical thinking between a teacher in the room and their students. It wasn't part of the curriculum. It was an opportunity. And they created a book club, and they read books together. Malcolm would have fit in right there, right? As a matter of fact, if you look inside of, I think, your bags, there should be a list cultivated and curated of the book selections of our book club. 2019 starts, pandemic hits, book club keeps going, and it is still going. That's amazing. It's because we created a space of radical imagination. That's just one bit of what we're doing now. Think about our national service program. Our Vistas. Can you give a round of applause for our Vista group? Where's Vista? One of the many, many programs we have, we started out as one of the state's oldest Vista programs, the original ones. Now we are, as of date, I believe we're in 11 different states doing programming, bringing literacy not only to Minnesota, but to other states, and building capacity for other nonprofits to foster this concept and this progress of radical imagination. As a matter of fact, our Journeys book that comes out every single year was the brainchild of a single Vista in Winona who decided, I got a typewriter and a lot of writing in the state. I'm going to type up a whole anthology right now. And we had our first anthology in 1989. And to this day, it is still going out every single year of writing from around the state. Imagine if that, from a Vista program here, happened in every single state that we had. Because we are bigger now. We're in a lot more places. Imagine how many people we can impact just because of our sheer size. And now, I've talked about ways we've imagined. We're going to do an exercise of our own. It's going to be a beginning of one. So I said, it's an invitation, not the party. I'm inviting you to the next phase of this organization. I've been here for 5 months. If you want my vision, I'm still working to find out how I fit in with this amazing room of visionaries. And so this is about how we can collectively and collaboratively imagine as we enter our next strategic plan. And there'll be calls to action, many calls to action. But today, here's a small one. Yes, there'll be one to give as well. Yes, we know that. But before that, I want you to first just look at someone you know in this room. Look at someone you know pretty well. Just take a moment and imagine, without discussing, what you two are capable of. What you two, if you pad your devices, could accomplish in the world. You know each other a little bit, but just look at that person and think about that. I'm looking at my 9-year-old right here. I know just from her, without my help, that the world's in good hands. Now I want you to look at someone you don't know, someone not at your table. Just look at someone. They don't gotta look back at you, but look at them. You have no idea. You have no idea who they are, what they're about, or what they can do, or what they know, or what they've learned, or where they've been from, or where they've gone. Imagine what you can do with that person. Imagine what they're capable of with no knowledge of who they are. Imagine that. The person you looked at during that Minnesota goodbye, give them a Minnesota goodbye. Track them down. Talk to them. Get to know them. And imagine after the interaction what you might be able to do. Because over the next several months, we're going to be making a lot of announcements, a lot of new things coming. We're opening a brand new central campus that will be our hub of innovation in a community that has been consistently and continually disinvested in. It's going to take that work, and there's immediacy to it. So when I walk away from here, and I've been given a big ask to follow up Malcolm Mitchell and be before Ed Sheeran tickets, that when you are giving, you aren't giving to the past, you aren't giving to the present, you are investing in the immediacy of making our imagination, this radical imagination, become a reality. Because the real fact is that the people can't wait to see their worlds materialize. People need it now, they need to learn now, and they need to see their dreams come to life sooner rather than later. To give some sense of that, one last thing to imagine is, who thinks that schools, K through 12, is funded well and we're paying enough for our kids in our schools? No hands? Do you know how much we spend per child right now in the country? $10,000 per kid. Not a very big number. Do you know how much the average is spent nationally for adult learners? $400. Imagine what the world would look like if $10,000 per adult, per learner, was invested by our state, by our federal government. That's not the case. When you are investing, giving, supporting our mission, you are adding on top of that 400. And my dream is that we can match and surpass that $10,000 a month, a year. I wish it was a month, that'd be wonderful. And it begins tonight and moving forward. Because this is what we're about. And I want to show one more video because our recent learning for national service is that not all of our learners enter as adults. We have a couple sisters who are students in our Summer Reads program, and now they're teachers in the same school. Sisters began as kids, now they are adults continuing the mission on their own. Literacy and learning is lifelong, and my love for youth, for work, for education is contingent upon us knowing that every age should have access to educational opportunities, and every individual should know that they have the opportunity to dream radically. So, watch this video because it's not about me, it's about we. And imagine if we had 1 million more of these videos to show next year. And what can we do to do that? So, check out this video, and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Hi, I'm Michelle Martinez.
Hi, I'm Denise Martinez.
And we are sisters, teachers, and former AmeriCorps Civistas with Literacy Minnesota. Me and my sister attended the summer school program in Northfield. We spent time attending because we were English language learners. We were emerging readers, and so we met with the employees at Summer Reads.
They helped me out with reading and writing and math.
I was grateful for those interactions as a child.
I love making friends right away, so lots of the AmeriCorps or college students that would come and help all of us kids that went to the program. It just felt like someone like brand new, like a superhero, or just someone that you just wanted to get to know.
What inspired us was just, knowing what it was like attending as a child. When I was in first grade, I I dreamed of being a teacher. I thought I wanted to be a teacher, and just like solidifying those dreams was just like really authentic and in a way that I could help my hometown and be there with my sister too. I think that was really good. We had a full day program. It wasn't just like we meet with the kids and then it's done. Because it was a summer school, there was some sort of enrichment. And so in the afternoons, we had kind of a club, a literacy club, and we had to plan with our third partner just like what we would do around literacy. Like they just knew we were like the book people.
Yeah.
Like the kids saw us and they were like, oh, you're here? Oh, are you here to read with me?
Yeah. Or you'd want to give me another book?
Oh, am I giving you a book now? And it's like, no, we're here to practice our sight words, or we would play games with them, or we would do crafts or different things with them. And so that was really fun. And it was just kind of like, okay, like we're in charge now. There's no other teacher here. It was like really good practice to like be up there and be confident in our plan.
We wanted to be the inspiration for those kiddos because like we knew their families, we knew our community, and we wanted to give back to our community. So we were like, okay, well, we are going to be teachers and we're Latinas too. So like I want these kids to see that like they can go to college too. They can be teachers, they can be doctors. So we just want to inspire them to keep going with school and helping them out as much as they can.